here at the Dargan boat ramp. We're going to continue with our hiking series and hike downstream. And we're going to scan the area, let you look around. Here there's water in the canal. It's not watered, it's just has water in it. So we're going to have to cross the bridge. It goes over the canal. And we'll be turning downstream. Now if you have your boat, you can continue on straight down into the river and launch your boat here. But today we're just hiking. Let's look upstream. Now we'll turn, and this is the way we're going. This is a good time of year for these hikes because you can see pretty far. In the summer the leaves are out and that'll restrict our view. But now we still have some nice views out. See the river. Then we look over on the canal side. Here comes the biker biking through. We can see there's a holler on the left, the stream coming through. That's Sawmill Run. This is culvert 96. We'll be crossing. Now the river is in flood stage. We can see it's backed up a bunch of wood there. The culvert goes right out to the river. Here's our upstream view. Looking upstream. Down here along the river at culvert 96. See what we can see. We'll have to go on the other side to see this side. Alright, switching sides. We're able to see the culvert. It looks like the original culvert with some rock added on the side over here too. And it's right now it's at river level, but the river is up. Above the culvert we see a row of rock holding the towpath up. We're on the upstream side of the culvert. We can see all this stonework here. That looks not nowadays stonework. We'll get a close-up shot here. Alright, now we're down here almost stream level. You can hear the water roaring on my right. Now the culvert here, I can see what I'm used to seeing with the stonework. And looks like it had stone maybe added later. It wasn't pointed up. Some of that right on top is, but the rest of it's just stacked stone. This is culvert 96. This is Sawmill Run. This is what I'm hearing. This is the water we can hear. Well, we're getting down here close to the stream, trying to see through. I can see the light bounce. We hold my camera out, maybe it'll take it. That's our culvert. We'll go back and finish our walk. So that's culvert 96. What's interesting about that culvert, not only does it go under the canal, but it goes under the road too. So leaving the culvert behind us, we turn and continue downstream, down the C&O Canal. Looking over at the river. As we're walking down the canal, we look out at the river, see that big hill out there, and that forces the canal to make a right bend to go around it. So you can see it's sweeping there to the right, and that's the direction we're headed, on down the canal. We've come up to a spot. We look down toward the river, we see a plastic pipe sticking out. We swing over to the canal. We see some stonework and a stream going down into it. Let's get a better look at this. Well, down here in the canal bed, we see rocks held back with wire mesh, and the water in the canal is falling down into it and draining out that black pipe we saw on the other side. So this may be the best look we get of it. Coming down in the canal bed, we look over, that may be the beginning of the pipe. On with our trip. Continuing with our hike. So we look to our right again, checking out the river view. You can see over to the West Virginia side. There's dwellings over there. All that water that's draining down that last lost culvert, if it is. Maybe it's not so much a lost culvert as a waste weir. Or at least it's being used now as a waste weir. Well, we reached a point on the canal where if we look to the left, back road is turning away from us. The canal going around that hill we saw before. You can see the sign up there with the arrow pointing the road turning. On down the canal we go. Well, we get down here to another valley coming down. See a lot of water in the canal. See a stream running down. This looks like maybe a culvert. Let's take a look. I don't see any sign of a culvert here other than a depression. We'll go over on the other side and see what we see. I don't see nothing here. We can see where water runs across this. This is probably where they're talking about a lost culvert. Either that, it was just designed to run into the canal. But running like that, usually we don't see it. Usually there's a culvert there. A lot of sediments come down and fill the canal up through here. Well, we'll see where the water goes as we do our walk. Out there we see two ducks in the canal. See them? Ah, there's three. Some of the nature we see on the canal. Looking in the canal, it looks pretty full now. All that water coming down that stream. Coming up with another feature. It's a mile marker. Mile 64 on the C&O Canal. Looking at our map, we see the lost culvert is where all the water is coming into the canal. That pipe we saw before isn't even listed. It's just a drain up there. Stand here looking into the canal, the water looks pretty clear. I can see the stones on the bottom. Pretty full here too. The canal is continuing to look nice here with the water in it. It gives you an effect like it's back in the old canal days. There's another valley up here with the run coming down, adding some more water into the canal. Not a lot like before. It's also had a lot of sediment and closing the canal down a little bit, but it's still running through. And then looking ahead, I see it opens back up again. Here we can see a spot where they had to blast the rock out to build a canal. So close to the river that there wasn't a lot of room. They had to blast the rock back. I'm gonna peek up river again. This is the spot with a good view. Let me zoom in. That may be a little bit better. Looking upstream. Hear that tree creaking? That's the wind pushing those trees together, like strumming a fiddle. As we look up, looks like we're coming around the nose. I can see the river ahead making a hard bend to the left. And we'll look out again, and there's that view. As we get up to where the river bends to the left, we see some more rocks where they had to use black powder to blow the rocks back to fit the canal in. We're literally straddling the canal on one side and the river on the other. Give you a look down there. Yeah, that's pretty close, pretty steep. Okay, we're coming up with another feature. It's mile marker 63, and this is our turnaround spot. We'll head back up to the Dargan boat ramp. So we look out to the left to the river, catching the views on our way back. It's a good time of the year out here hiking. You can see a lot more things without the leaves on the trees. Looking at that view again, around the bend, going upstream. We're back at the singing trees. Here on the side, where some of the dirt's been knocked away, we can see rocks. The canal wall was probably lined with rock when it was originally built, and the vegetation has covered it up. As I look up, it continues on down the canal. Get down here, we could really see it good. We're on our way back. We see the canal's full here, and I see we're coming up on a feature. We're coming up on a mile marker. We'll read it as we go by. We are mile marker 64 on the C&O Canal. I hope you stayed with us for our walk. We're back at the Dargan boat ramp, and I hope you'll tune in for our next video, the walk from Dargan upstream. So this is John. We're on another adventure. See you next time.